Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can put a custom wrap on your kayak, just like the one I have here, for less than 100 bucks. Stick around. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here and you end up liking this video, check out my homepage. I've got a lot of videos like this, and consider subscribing because I upload videos like this all the time. So today we're going to talk about wrapping your kayak, and yes, you can do it for under 100 bucks. So first let's get into when someone gets into kayaking, like when we start kayak fishing and we decide we want to get into it. The first thing you do is you either find a good deal on a kayak, which is usually what I do, or you just go out and purchase the kayak that you want, the actual kayak that you want to fish from. Then the next thing that you do, which everybody thinks you do, the next thing is fish out of your kayak. Wrong. That is not the next thing you do. The first thing, you buy the kayak. The next thing, you modify your kayak. I don't care who you are, the very first thing you do when you get your new kayak or you buy a good, used kayak somewhere, the very first thing you do to your kayak is you modify it in some way, or you customize it in some way to suit your needs or look the way you want it to look. We're all guilty of it. It's the very next thing we do. I don't care if it's adding a cup holder or adding a rod holder or adding a box to the rear of the kayak. The very first thing you do after you purchase your kayak is you modify it in some way. One of the new ways that are coming out nowadays, everybody is starting to wrap their kayaks. They're wanting to kind of mimic the bass boat wraps that are out on the pro fisherman boats, And I've been looking into wrapping my bass boat for a while, and I decided to start looking into wrapping my kayak here recently. After looking online for a little while, I seen that wrapping a kayak is expensive. A bass boat is super expensive. It's like over $2,000 to wrap a bass boat. But it's pretty high for a kayak too, considering the amount of vinyl. Everywhere I've looked, it's between $400 to upwards over 600 bucks just to wrap your kayak. And mind you, you can customize those graphics and do a lot more to it than I'm going to show you in today's video, but it's still pretty expensive to wrap your kayak. I didn't want to go that route, so I kind of put wrapping my kayak on the back burner and wasn't really looking into doing it. And this weekend I was on my Etsy app, and Etsy is just an app. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of like eBay. A lot of small companies sell stickers and hats and just about anything really. It's just small businesses. But anyway, I was on the Etsy app and I was looking for decals for my bass boat, and I ran across this shop that was selling these rocker panels. Now, if you don't know what a rocker panel is, it's a sticker that goes across the bottom of your pickup truck, and usually it's like a chrome rocker panel, and it's there. You put it there to protect it from your tires slinging up rocks and nicking the bottom of your paint and stuff on your truck. People like to put these there. Well, a lot of people now are making custom designs and artwork instead of just straight chrome rocker panel. And the shop was selling this that you see here, the American flag rocker panel, and he's got a whole bunch of other designs. Now, I'm not affiliated with this shop at all. I don't know who they are. I just seen the decals and it caught my eye. So the real thing that caught my eye was the dimensions. They had the dimensions right there on the front of the page, and it said that it was 12 inches tall by 12 feet long. Now, that's exactly the size of the kayak wraps that I was looking for to wrap my kayak. I have a 12-foot long kayak, and most kayak wraps are going to be, 10 inches to 12 inches tall anyway, because you're not covering a whole lot of real estate, on the side of your kayak. So I looked into it. I was like, the price really grabbed me. I think it was around 80 bucks, and that's for both sides versus $600 or $700 to buy a kayak wrap. So after seeing the price and the dimensions, I was like, I bet I could do that, but I bet the vinyl's different. I bet it's a different kind of vinyl, stuff that you shouldn't be put on the side of your kayak. So I dove into it a little bit more, and I realized after looking at the kayak wrap material and this material, it was the same material. Now, some companies might use something a little bit different to wrap your kayaks, but everything that I found, this was the same exact material, breathable vinyl. And that's what you're looking for. And when I say breathable, I mean that when you're putting it on and you get an air bubble in regular vinyl, you have to push that air bubble all the way up until you get it to the edge of the vinyl so the air escapes out from up under the sticker. This vinyl is breathable, and what that means is you can push the air bubble down and kind of work it, and the air will escape through the vinyl. It's got tiny, tiny holes in it. You can't see the holes, but they're there, and the air will actually come out without you having to do it. And what that means is it makes it easier to contour around things and mold and shape and stretch and do what you need to do with it. And this is also a thick vinyl. So what I'm going to do in this video, I just wanted to go through that whole spiel of how I found it so you know exactly what this is. So when I tell you where you can get it or where to go look for it at, and I say rocker panel for a truck, you don't look at me like that's not kayak wrap, that's truck wrap. This is actually rocker panel for a truck, but as you can see, it turns out really good on the side of a kayak. Now, I'm not a professional. There's going to be a lot of little kinks and miscuts and stuff on the side. I'm not good at this at all, to be honest. But it does turn out great if you take your time. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I wrapped it. I've only done this side. We're going to spin the kayak around in this video, and I'm going to wrap the other side. It's probably going to be a time lapse because I'm having to take my time. It took me about an hour and a half to put that one side on because there's a lot of stretching, and you know, I took my driver's license or a credit card or whatever, and I smoothed everything out and kept going. And it also works to use a heat gun on certain parts of your kayak, like if your kayak has the little studs in there for the trolley, you know, the anchor trolley that runs down the side, you can kind of use a heat gun and contour around that. But this stuff turned out really well, less than $100 bucks. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I put it on. We're going to spin the kayak around. One thing I do want to show you that you need is I'm actually using my pistol permit card to rub it all down with. And you're going to need this, and I'm going to link this in the video description below. You don't have to use this, but it'll make your life a whole lot easier when you're installing this. It's not very expensive. I think it was less than 10 bucks. I could be wrong, maybe 10 or $12, something like that. But this is called Wrap Cut. It's a fine filament edge cutting tape. And all this is a tape that's got a fiber in it. And when I say fiber, there's like a cutting string inside here, a real fine one. And what you do with this is you take and you stretch it across the kayak, and you'll see in the video in a minute. I'm going to stretch it across the kayak and kind of contour it everywhere I want the wrap to be cut. And once you get this pulled out and you get this tape all around the edges of where you want the wrap to be cut, you leave it there. Make sure you leave a long tag in sticking out on each end. And then you put your vinyl on. You put your vinyl on over top of this tape. And when you're done and you get all the air bubbles out and you're ready to cut, all you do is you pull out this little piece of fiber. You can't see it on camera, but it's a tiny string that's in this roll of tape. And you pop it out of the tape and you pull it. When you pull it, it cuts through the vinyl, leaves a nice smooth edge, and it'll make it look professionally done. If you do it right, now I've got a little waviness in mine. If you look really close, you can see it, but if you're not looking for it, you're not going to notice it. You're going to take the first glance at the side of my kayak and look like it's a professional job wrapped. And this is what does it. This gives it a nice clean cut. I did use it on the top and the sides. I didn't use it on the bottom because I wasn't sure how far I wanted the wrap to go. So the way I trimmed the bottom is after I finished the kayak wrap, I just took a razor blade and gently just slid my hand and let it contour the side of my boat about where I wanted the cut to be. And I just peeled it right off, rubbed it down, give it a little heat with a heat gun, rubbed all the bubbles out, and it's on. And we're going to time lapse the other side because, like I said, it took me about an hour and a half to do that side. It's going to take a while. I don't want to stretch this video out super long, but anything that I need to stop and I think I need to fill you guys in on, I'll make sure to pause the time lapse and go over what I'm doing in that step. But I did want to make sure that if you're going to do it, get you a roll of this. It's cheap. You'll still be able to do the whole project for less than 100 bucks. Also, there's a ton of designs on Etsy that I'll link everything in this video description. You can go check his shop out. He's got a bunch of other designs, but he does have a note in there. If you want something custom, you can send him a message. And I'm sure that if you design something yourself, you could probably send it to him and he could print it out. I don't know if it'd be an extra charge or not, but maybe you could get that done and have your own custom kayak wrap for under 100 bucks, just like I'm doing. I do plan on going back over top of mine, getting the Hobie graphics put back on and my sponsor graphics on the front. But I think it's really going to customize my kayak. And for less than 100 bucks, I like it. It's getting rid of a lot of this yellow. You know, I'm trying to slowly delete this yellow. I liked it at first, but now it's kind of, everybody calls it the banana boat. A lot of you guys call it the banana boat. I get that in the comments a lot. But so slowly hiding the banana boat. All right, so I'm gonna quit talking. We're gonna spin this kayak around. I'm gonna set the camera up, and we're gonna try to get this decal on down the other side. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. Let's do it. All right, so once you get your kayak into position, you want to go ahead and remove any graphics, any decals, any stickers, anything you've got on the side of your kayak. Go ahead and get it removed. If any of the sticky stuff stays on, make sure you scrape as much off as you can. Here you can see I'm using acetone after I removed everything. Just take the acetone on a paper towel, soak it down really good, and then I just wipe the whole boat down, all the way down the side. It helps remove anything left on there, any river scum or water or anything sticky left over from the decals. It'll get all that off really good. And the acetone also dries the plastic out really good, and it helps for the back of the graphics stick to the plastic even better. It'll make it stay on for a really long time. As you're cleaning the boat, use your fingers and make sure you feel it really well. And if you feel any burrs, like right in here, I think I felt like a little burr. So grab your razor blade as you're wiping, and you can go through and remove any kind of burrs, or if you've got a gouge or a scratch on the side of your kayak, a lot of times that plastic will be sticking up. Just take your razor blade like I'm doing here and just scratch the plastic right off with it. All right, here's the wrap cut tape that I was telling you guys about. This stuff is amazing. Just wait till you see how well it actually cuts the graphics. I'm gonna make sure I link it below. I'm pointing at where I'm gonna run the line. So the top cap of my kayak, the top of the kayak is a rough plastic like it is on most kayaks, but the side of the kayak is a real smooth, slick plastic. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that my graphics are cut right at that line where the rough part starts, and you can kind of see the line on the side of the boat already. So all I'm doing is I'm running this tape from one end of the boat to the other. I'm doing a couple feet at a time because you have to rub it down, and you can't really stretch it from one end to the other and it hold really well. So I'm going a couple feet at a time, rubbing it down, keeping the line as straight as I can get it. And you're just going to work your way from one end of the boat to the other. All this is outlining where you want your graphic to be cut, because when you put the graphic on, we're going to overlay it over top of that, and it's going to kind of hang over the edge of the top of the boat and around the back and the sides of the boat. Here you can see me, I'm using the tape. You can curve it really well because it's only an 1/8 inch thick. And I'm curving it to the shape that I want. I don't want it to follow all the way down to the front. I want it to curve and follow that little contour of my boat. And I'm just gonna rub it down and curve it with my thumb and get it to where I need it. And make sure you pull off. As you can see, I left a lot extra. I'm using a pair of snips, but you can use scissors. And just cut off a long tag, because you're gonna need to get to this tape after your graphic is on. All right, now I'm fixing to apply the decal. Now a lot of people like to just stick this up with masking tape and kind of hold it in place and then do it, but I found that it's easiest just to start at one end, unpeel it, and get it stuck really good, and then just kind of roll down the side of the kayak. And as you see, I'm rolling down the side of the kayak, and as I'm moving, I'm just peeling the back off as I go, and I'm pressing down, but I'm making sure that the graphic is coming over the top. I'm making sure that it stays over that cut tape that I've got on top of the boat. and I'm pushing down just in one spot. I'm not sliding my hand up and down and trying to rub the whole graphic on at this point. I'm mainly just sliding it down, as you can see, straight through the center. And then you just go all the way to the back just like that, and just get it stuck right in the middle. Because you want to start in the center with these graphics and work your way top to bottom and front to back. So what I'll do next is, you'll see I'll go right here to the middle of the kayak, and I kind of want to start right in the center. And you see how good and thick this stuff is. It looks like it's going to mess up when you pull it, but it really doesn't. You can pull this stuff back off, and I'm using a card and I'm just pushing the bubbles right back out as I'm doing it. And you can see they just disappear. You want to pull back to get the bigger ones out, like those big wrinkles that you see right there, and you just work it down. But the little ones that you can't get at that time, you just go back like I'm doing here, rub them with your finger, and they will just disappear. I'm just working my way to the back of the boat here. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit, so you'll see me moving really fast. This took about an hour to do this one side. But all I'm doing is just working. Now that I've got the whole back done, and I'm working the front now. So I'm just peeling up, working off the big wrinkles, pulling it down tight, and as I'm pulling on it, I'm shoving it down with my card. Now here's where I grab my heat gun. Now you can use a hair dryer too, because I'm using this heat gun on low heat. You don't want it on high. And the main thing I'm doing is I'm going around the edges and over top of the cut tape that we got on. I'm rubbing it down and heating it really good. And also the anchor trolley bolts that are built into the side of my kayak, I'm getting to those and I'm heating up, and I'm kind of rubbing it down and making the vinyl kind of form around it. And it does a really good job. This is really critical into getting a good clean cut using this cut tape. Okay, so I've got everything heated up, and as you can see, I'm pulling the cut tape off now on the front of the boat first. And as you can see, look how smooth that line is. And it cuts it perfectly. Now I'm just taking a razor blade and I'm just curving I didn't like the way I had it pointed right there, so I'm just curving it out a little bit. Now you just find the tag in on the cut tape. Now we're going to do the top. You see how easy it just pulls right through the vinyl. That cord that I've got in my hand, that's part of the cut tape. That's the little fiber I was telling you about. And it just pulls. It's almost like magic. It works really good. As long as you've got the vinyl down, it cuts such a good line. If you've never used this stuff and you do a lot of graphics, you're going to fall in love with this cut tape. And you just pull your graphic off and it leaves a perfect line every time. Now I'm just going back with a heat gun and I'm getting all the edges, any bubbles that were left over after I've got all the cut tape pulled off, smoothing everything out really well. Now here I'm adding the finishing touch, the Kayak USA decal. And does this not look professional? I mean, not to pat myself on the back, but I think it turned out pretty good. You can see it formed around the little anchor trolley bolts really well, and the lines are just completely straight. I mean, I could not have done that with a razor blade. There's just no way. But you can see the little blemishes. I need to go back with a heat gun and get a few small ones out, but it turned out really good. I was really proud when I got done with wrapping the kayak, because it was very intimidating at first, but if you take your time, you can do it. Alright guys, so it's that easy to wrap your kayak. I did speed it up a little bit. It took us about, I'd say, an hour to do that one side. So a couple hours, you can knock out both sides. Just a few tips. Make sure you get any burrs off this, any cuts that you have on your kayak. If the plastic's sticking out a little bit, take your razor blade like you've seen me do and kind of shave that off. Get any stickers or decals or anything that's sticking on the side of your kayak, because once you seal this vinyl against your kayak, you're going to be able to see any blemishes or anything that's already on the side of your kayak. It's kind of shining through. As you can see, I've got a few on mine. It's not perfect. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional at this, but it looks good. And I also know that I'm going to get a lot of flack for putting the stars at that end of my boat on this side, and the stars are at this end on my flag on this side. In my mind, I was thinking I like for the flag to look like it's facing the right direction from both sides of the boat, but I probably should have mirrored it and matched this side. Either way, I like the way it turned out. I'm going to rock my stickers on the side. I'm going to get me some Hobie decals, you know, put all my sponsors on the front of it. And if you've seen the Kayak USA stickers that I just put on the front on both sides, those are in stock right now in my item shop. You can support the channel by picking you up some Kayak USA stickers. Links in the video description. I also have t-shirts and stuff like that. I'll have that link below as well. You can check it out. Support the channel. That's what helps me do these projects for you guys. I'm able to make these videos and get them out there and help a lot of you guys out. I hope I'm helping you guys out. If you're new to my channel and this is one of my first videos that you've seen, I've got a bunch of these types of videos on my channel. Like I said at the beginning of the video, go to my homepage, check out all my other videos, hit that subscribe button and share these videos. It helps me out a whole lot if you can share these videos. I guess that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to link everything that I used, like I said, in the video description below. If you want to follow along, you can contact the guy on the Etsy. I'm going to put his link. Like I said, I don't know him. We're not affiliated in any way, but the graphics seem to work really well for me. They're definitely not going to come off. I promise you that. I mean, if you want to remove them, you can remove them. You can use a heat gun and peel them off, but if you think that these are just going to blow off going down the road, you're wrong. These things, once you set them, especially using the heat gun, they seal up really well. So check his shop out. He's got a lot of different designs other than just, you know, the flags. Get you a graphic. If you do wrap your boat and it's because of you watch my channel, email me some pictures of your boat. I'd love to see how it turned out. Alright guys, that's going to do it. I appreciate you watching. If you're new, subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.